Hello again. My name's Kirsten Hunter. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm enthusiastically talking through a whole lot of clinical areas that we cover in my private practice and that I find really beneficial for clients. So this is all about taking that information and making it more available to the public. I've just been talking about anxiety attacks in the last one, so I thought I'd jump on that and talk more about with anxiety attacks, or if you want to call them panic attacks, what do you do? How do you diffuse them? How do you calm yourself down? What a wonderful skill, because perhaps you've already had anxiety attacks, perhaps you've had them very mild, perhaps you'll have them in the future, perhaps people around you will have them. It's going to happen. It's part of being human. And so the more skilled we are and the more calm and confident we are, then we can just kind of get in, sort them through, move on, as opposed to become very overwhelmed by them and fearful, which can cause a whole nother area. I don't know if you've heard of a panic disorder diagnosis, but that's when people develop a phobia or like a fear of having an anxiety attack. So they have anxiety attacks and then they fear, what if I have them again? And their focus is actually, what if I have them again? It's not actually having them. So that's sort of a phobia of anxiety attacks, a panic disorder. Whoop, pressing a button. Okay. So where to from here? Okay, so if you do have an anxiety attack, there are basically 3 approaches that we use to diffuse them. And it really is up to the individual to work out what works for them. So the first one is distraction, the second one is breathing, and the third one is grounding. Obviously there's others, but these are the 3 main ones. Now, I'm a big fan of distraction. So basically what's happening, dog's barking. Basically what's happening is your mind is saying, okay, there's a psychological threat, and I am really distressed about that. So think of your mind as television, and while you're focusing on that channel, you are going to remain acutely anxious. So it's all about changing the channel. Change what your focus is. And when you really invest in a distraction, you change the focus of your mind, and that allows your body to catch up and to kind of, we have different nervous systems, so it takes you from your sympathetic nervous system, so that's that fight, flight, faint, freeze, over to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our safe space. So distraction means going and doing something that you can invest your brain in. You can't just go watch TV, that's passive, it has to be active. So you could go up to, it's crazy, it could be anything. You could go up to a bookcase and you can reorder the books. You can go up to the cutlery drawer and you can tidy the cutlery drawer. You can get on your phone and you can do something that's a little bit analytical, like Sudoku or something like that, or some sort of game that's analytical. You can't just do something mind-numbing. So distraction is wonderful because it's so easy. Takes determination to decide to do that, but it's such a great go-to, and it's what I very much use with children. So there's distraction. Then we've got breathing. Now breathing is about getting to the physiological side of your anxiety and deciding that you're going to physically calm your body down. It does work, but it takes a little bit of time to kick in, and some people really enjoy it and swear by it. Other people want something more immediate. So breathing is really simple. There's so many different options, but the simplest one is just thorough exhaling. So that's, counting is very important with breathing because it gets you to be very structured in exhaling rather than just breathing out. It helps us to exhale for a longer period in a more controlled way. So simply just breathe in and then breathe out for a count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe in. With kids who are having anxiety attacks, I get them to do the 10 candles. Super simple. So I say to them, okay, I want you to breathe out on 10 candles. And the parents do it too, and the adults do it too, and it's wonderful. So simply just then take another breath. When you're ready, do it again. So what we're doing there is we're exhaling thoroughly and again in a very structured way. So that's breathing. And when you do that breathing over and over and over, it will quieten sympathetic nervous system and help you to overcome that anxiety attack. Now, the third approach is grounding. And a grounding is a bit like distraction, but it's more about getting into our sensory environment. So when we're anxious, we just go up in our mind and we just get catastrophic. So it's really getting us into the world around us. So my favourite for anxiety is to go for a walk. Go for a walk and to insist that I study the environment around me. Do you really know the texture of the different leaves? Do you really know the different, if you had to describe the tones of the sky? Or, how familiar are you with the details of the houses around you? So the studying of the environment around you, now that's visual. And we've got all 5 senses to play with. What can you hear? What can you touch? What can you feel? Taste, sure. But the other 4 are the big ones. So that's grounding. That's grounding and getting you out of your head into the world around you. So anxiety attacks are a pain in the neck. They are horrible. We feel out of control, and as human beings, we fundamentally need to have a strong sense of being in control. Otherwise, we feel danger. So that's the core to anxiety attacks and why we hate them so much as humans. But we can turn them around. So get comfortable with it, get familiar with it, make a plan. You can either do your distraction, but something analytical. You can do your breathing, or you can go ground yourself in your physical environment around you. So there's anxiety attacks. We can sort that out. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I'll get in trouble for this. I need to tell you where you can find me. So I am into writing blogs at the moment with getting this information in the public. So KirstenHunterauthor.com, Facebook Kirsten Hunter Author, Instagram Kirsten Hunter Author. I'm on Twitter Kirsten Hunter AU, Psych in Your Car, YouTube, and podcast Signposts for Living by Dr. Kirsten Hunter. Okay, see you.